Quarantined? Jumpstart some homeschooling. My name is Renee Ellison, and it is our hope today that we can help you use small moments wisely while you're quarantined at home with your children. It's our hope that you won't waste this time and that you'll be able to pull your children off computers and endless movies and really develop some good skills in them so that we use this time wisely. This is what America does. If a door is shut, we open a window somewhere. We overcome, and we want to know how to do that specifically with our children in this hour so that we raise intelligent children and skilled children, and that we do our part even when the public schools are shut down. We have to examine, why do we why do we bother to educate our children? Why bother? Well, we could just sit there and say, well, we'll wait until the schools open again. But we want to escape naivete. It's not an asset socially to raise a dummy. So we want to further that process of releasing on America very bright, capable young adults when they're done with their educational system. When we were raising our child and also educating several families in our house with 6 children each over a period of time, we would tell the children, limp when wounded. In other words, when some part of your life isn't working, then go over and work on a different part of your life. You might be sick, or you might have broken your leg, or you might have no emotional energy for a certain topic at a certain time. Then switch places, but continually move your capacities forward, move your skills forward, move your talent forward. So we want to tell you today that you can do this. That's the first thing that hits the entire homeschooling movement, is that doubt about, am I good enough to do this with my child? Am I capable enough? Yes, you're capable enough. All you need are some really good equipment, some good materials, and the commitment to make this thing happen. You can even set up a chart on your hallway wall that says what you plan to accomplish during these weeks with your children, and you can put it on graph paper and go and just check off those subjects as you do them. So get some order, get some goals figured out, and we have found, those who've been in the homeschooling movement for decades now, that the morning hours are very, very conducive to good study and concentration and academic growth. So use those morning hours, 2 to 4 hours every morning, and really accomplish, give your children something to be proud of during this period when we're all in waiting. Okay, for very, very young children, of course, you have to begin with phonics. You may order all of these materials at our website that's called homeschoolhowtos.com. If you need materials, if you already have materials at home, just get those out and use them, including an old encyclopedia set. Get your children reading. Just use anything you have in your home to advance your children's skill areas. But if you need some materials, we wanted to make you aware of our website. That's homeschoolhowtos.com. There's no apostrophes and no dashes. And we have over 100 helps there for you. And many, many free ebooks as well. Okay, so you're starting off with the little ones. We want to start, of course, with good reading skills. And so we have a program called Fast Phonics. And what this does is it goes right to the phonetic sound. So instead of teaching your child the alphabet first, you want to go right to the phonetic sound first. For example, Heidi hides under her hat. Well, we don't teach the child H, because you never say the word H, hat. You go right to the sound, hat. So if you'll go right to the phonetic sound, your child can learn to read faster. So we have developed these marvelous large cartoons that nail the sounds instantly. The memory hooks are so strong that they can't forget them. And then we have some charts that go along with it. So once they've learned the memory hook, then they have those same letters, let's say here, and they learn where the starting line is and how to write them. So by writing them and taking a picture of them and hearing them, they're going to solidly learn those skills. Then the third chart has nothing at all on it, no helps at all. So that's where you test the child. You say, okay, which one said D for dog? And they'll remember that face of the dog and they'll point to it. So they're always learning their letters in groups of 6. So that develops extremely good discretionary skills. I know in some schools they spend all week on the letter A, let's say. Well, this is far faster because they're learning them in context. They always have to use their mind to say, now which one does that better and more accurately. So that's our fast phonics program, and it goes on and teaches all of phonics, the short vowel sounds and the long vowel sounds. And you can find that on our website. And so the bigger book is here. That's just the primer step, which is learning the sounds. And then the bigger book will cover all sorts of actual reading tasks. They'll read lots and lots of sentences and stories with 3-letter words that are short sounds. And then they move to 4-letter words. We've had 3- and 4-year-olds learn how to read with this program. Zoom, really fast. Okay, now for your older children, the 2 things that you could do extremely well at home is to teach keyboarding skills. And the first most necessary one is Zoom type. And that's how to train their fingers to stay in the correct rows. Many of them have grown up texting and just making their fingers jump all over the keyboard. And that's fine, but you will always have a lid on how fast you can type if you hunt and peck, because it takes microseconds to reposition your fingers. So this is a developed program that they can learn in 5 days with little 5-minute sessions 5 times a day. And what it does is it teaches them the letters through, here's an example. They'll type just the top of the book, and then later the middle book, and finally the bottom. But it first introduces the 2 letters. So FJ, all the letters are taught in pairs. So FJ. Then on the next page, those 2 letters are gone. And so they have to retrieve what they just saw. And so they press again and they say FJ. And they get more and more complex. The keyboard gets blacker and blacker with more and more letters missing. But because it was taught so incrementally, they can type in 5 days. So, and then they begin to work on their speed after that with the most commonly used words in the English language. So no time is ever wasted typing DLL space. It's always a word, and it's the most frequently used words in the English language that are tackled. And most typing programs don't do that. Okay, so that's a little kit. It costs $19.95, and it's on our website. Then the same can be true for piano, and this is called Quick Piano. It is the chord method, and it teaches the child 12 chords that are the major chords. There are just 12 of them. And then when they lower the third, there's 12 more for minor chords. So it teaches them the chord method, and then they play those chords in their left hand, and they learn how to read melodies in their right hand from this course. And then there's great, big, huge music in the back. The music in the back is worth the price of the book. But the concepts taught in pictures, just like with the typing program, now you see something, now you don't. It'll teach them a chord, and then part of the chord will be missing on the next picture, and they have to finger what that was. So in both of these programs, they learn in the booklets first, and then they transfer them to the real keyboards. This would be a marvelous use of your child's time during these weeks at home. They can virtually conquer all the basics in piano and all the basics in Zoom type during this time at home. And the book does it so well that you'll hardly have to do anything. You can just guide them to go check off the next section on their chart. And then, as you know, children aren't just brains, but they have emotions and attitudes and character that needs to be developed and trained. And so we have a little book called Character Trait Coloring Book, and it isolates each character. There's about 48 of them, and then shows there's a little song, a DVD of the song, and then a page to color. And it does wonders to teach character. It isolates the concept so the child even knows what it is, and then nails it with a little ditty song. So that's another thing you can get on our website. Then every child needs to learn to spell, and to spell accurately, and to spell well. And the best way to do that is to take the most highly frequent used words in the English language and spell them. And so what we did was give you parents a rest in that the CD and the booklet will teach the child to spell without you. That's what most of our materials are designed to teach with very little parental input, so that you can be free to make dinner and do the laundry and encourage. We say our curriculum is the sage on the stage, and you become the guide on the side. So your investment is encouraging them and lining up the structure to do this, and then the materials do the work for you. So you're the cheerleader and the materials are the teacher. So they will listen to the lists which are given to them in the CD, and then they can self-check with the little booklet. And if they learn these words, they're those words that just even high schoolers and college students don't spell correctly. Frequently they don't. And so these are the ones that this is the way to get those conquered in this at home time. Now another little thing we have is a Speedy 10 Key booklet, and that will teach your child to type numbers very quickly, 3 numbers. Accounting would be sped along by this, and all bookkeeping is how to use the correct fingers to do keyboarding instead of hunting and pecking, so that their speed is increased. Now we have 2 more little booklets. One is called Teach Math Faster, and there are choke points in math, and I saw this in my 20 years of teaching, that most children would come romping along and then there'd be a choke point where they wouldn't quite get the concept, or it was taking too long, or whatever. And so we took those choke points and conquered them so that they go faster. For example, when they have to learn multiplication, instead of those facts that say 3 times 6 on one side and the answer's on the 18, we gave them a picture of it. So one side of the card shows the numbers and what they're going to look like, and the child has to come up with the answer. But to check himself, the other side comes up with the answer, but asks the child, what are the 2 sides? So these graph flashcards conquer that way faster than normal flashcards. So we've done that for each choke point in elementary math, and it's a very helpful booklet. Then we have another for Teach Grammar Faster, and inside we teach them how to shape up sentences. So instead of looking for the boring verb and the boring noun, they begin to put shapes. They look for the action and they put a triangle over the action. They look for the nouns and they put boxes over the nouns, etc. So they are shaping up sentences rather than just having them on the page and using only the left brain. All of our materials use the right brain and the left brain. So it is our hope that you will go survey our website and pick out things that will help you with exactly the different stages of where your different children are. Thank you for tuning in.